For this podcast, we're proud to partner with Zurich Life and Investments. As one of the last true independent life insurers, Zurich has always believed in the value of advice and the professionals who provide it. They continue to invest in programs such as this one that are designed to strengthen the health and reputation of the advice profession. They're excited about the chance to partner with us, XY Advisor, to help shape the future direction of advice and help make it more accessible to more Australians. To find out more or to check out some of the latest advisor support tools, visit the website or ask your Zurich BDM.
We all know education is one of the biggest things in the industry at the moment. It's why we've created the XY Advisor platform. It allows advisors to do short 4-week courses. And what we're really keen to do is to get as many awesome content providers in there. So if you're an advisor or a service provider who have put together an awesome solution which can affect change in the way an advisor does their job on a Monday morning, please do put together an application for us at www.xyadvisor.com.
Don't do it, man. Don't do it.
What am I not
You're
going to do?
That thing again.
What thing?
Hello, what's up, Chris, welcome.
Yeah, mate, you ruined my introduction.
You still do it.
Okay.
Let's not make that a thing, please. Come on.
G'day. How's it going? What do you know? Strike a light. Chris Bates, welcome to the podcast.
You fool.
Was this Miami radio or something?
No, mate. Don't you remember that song when you were a little kid?
FM, I think.
No, it's G'day. And how's it going?
Do that.
What
That's
do you
way
know?
Better. That's heaps
Strike
better.
a light. When you're a kid. When you're in preschool. Didn't you? No?
No.
Why, are you serious? All right.
You're a bit older than us.
Is it what gave it away? Was it the crow's feet? Or?
Oh,
No.
stop it. Mate, I've actually, to be fair, I feel like I'm in TV royalty right now. Yous are both just burning up the airwaves. How many times have you been on Sky News now?
Twice.
That's mad. That's still
You've
pretty
made it.
mad. And how many times have you been on Sunrise?
Once.
Yeah, that's still mad.
Yeah,
Come
I
on.
think it's mad.
Come on. That's heaps good.
Yeah.
But Sky lets anyone on,
Yeah.
as per this week.
Yes. Did you follow, Ben?
No.
A guy that you really look up to. His name's Blair Cottrell. Learned about him this week.
Right.
Far right, crazy dude was on Sky News, and our mate Chris here was just likening his reputation to
Association. We've both been on Sky, so
exactly.
yeah.
Good people only.
yeah.
That's mad though. So the Sky thing, did you get much love out of it? Did you get a bit of
I don't think it really makes a big difference in the whole scheme of things.
already smashing
mean,
it? I suppose how hard can you
I
smash
think
it?
it's.
Mm.
I think it's. I mean, how much content is in this world? Like, and then if you're on Sky once or twice, like no one's really going to pick up on you. Really. But if you're on Sky every week for 6 months, that's where I think it makes a big difference.
Did you pump it on social?
I did actually. You used to have to pay for the clip, actually.
Just
So
watch it.
they make you
watch
like
it on your computer and just screen capture it. That's what I
yeah,
did.
I wasn't doing that, but I think you're not allowed to do that actually. Image rights,
Right.
but
It's on my
yeah,
YouTube channel.
they actually had my little clip. They put that one online,
Oh man.
so that was good. Yes, that saved me $2,000. Not that I would have paid it.
Yeah. Wow. $2,000.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Well, Sunrise, they put it on the internet already. Like they put the whole show on the internet.
Well, it might be a bit different then.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I'm such a rookie with that stuff. It's just like no idea. So out of place.
Come on, guys.
How
I mean,
was the Sunrise?
between the both of you, I mean, there's three appearances at this stage. I mean, at the rate that we're going, we're going to have the Love Boat
Total
sequel.
domination. We'll be on Channel 84 soon.
Have you been on the telly?
No, but I've watched a lot of it.
Right.
Yeah.
How many minutes did you get on the TV?
20 over two.
That's way more than me.
Over 2. Yeah.
That's mad. You just talked about Bank West.
They told me that I was going to get 4 minutes, and I was like, whoa, that is a very short amount of time. Then I got there, and they're like, cut it down 2 minutes.
You walk in, that beard has got to go.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I don't get, man. That was, fire for social content. So
Oh, yeah.
happy with it. But it's such a weird thing. I was saying to Batesy before, like, I grabbed the clip, whacked it on the across the socials, and just people that I've been connected with for ages, and some that I'd had conversations with, that they just reach out. They're like, "Oh, need to do something." So I think it's just that, I suppose, like verification, like you're not, you've got that legitimacy there, or someone's interested in your opinion. It's always good to know.
Yeah. And because obviously you've been big on LinkedIn for a long time, and you've recently, or when I say recently, I think you're up to episode about 11 or 12 at this stage on the podcast, right?
Double that.
What? How many times are you releasing per week?
Twice.
Whoa. Damn, boy. What's up?
How's the
Ken
podcast going?
Yeah, it's good. So we've done 40 episodes.
Whoa,
Wow.
man.
So, but 20 are out.
Wow.
But yeah, like 20 in
Shit,
the bank.
that's a serious bank.
Yeah. Adding up as well because they're doing it in a studio like this. But,
yeah.
But no, it's good. We're going to Melbourne next month for 8 episodes, which is cool.
You're traveling around to do episodes.
Yeah, and then we're doing some in Brisbane in October, which will be cool.
Is that to sort of meet new people?
Yeah, we were getting very Sydney dominated.
Yes.
Or Sydney centric. So yeah, it's good to bring other states in.
Wow, man, that's
What
impressive.
are you chatting about on the podcast?
Well, listen to it, mate.
I'm not much of one for podcasts.
What? Yeah, okay, that makes absolutely no sense. But righto.
I'm not.
Yeah, don't listen to podcasts.
I listen occasionally. Well, I don't really like.
This is a waste of time.
I don't drive. No. It's not that. They're great. I've listened to some great podcasts. But
why?
I don't really. Yeah, a few of those have been pretty good. But I don't really drive. Like I don't drive around much. When I drive, I do. That's sometime that I do listen to podcasts. I walk to work. I walk with my wife. That's my like downtime. So I don't listen to stuff on the way in. And then during the day I work, and then during the night I work, and then I go to sleep. And I don't listen to podcasts
Okay.
that much. Yeah, I don't know.
Fair
I wonder
enough.
when your listeners are listening to this. It must be.
I think I listen on the way to work. That's a lot of the feedback that I get when people are walking around.
What are you doing right now?
Yeah, listener.
Yeah.
200 people a day. We're at 200 people a day
Are you?
downloading. Yeah, which blows my mind. Right?
Yeah,
amazing.
It blows my mind. Yeah. So it's our responsibility to make sure that we're not wasting their time. So Chris Bates, mate, tell us something about property. What's going on?
So we've had lots of different like elements to the property market. So we had the one getting released tomorrow is all about Airbnb. So we've got like a Bernard Salt's sidekick.
This is the podcast.
Yeah, so he's
Mad.
coming on. We've got which is a guy called Simon. Can't say his last name.
Oh.
Yeah,
High
we've got
risk?
some.
Is it high risk?
No, it's like Bertz or something like that.
All right.
But he's a legend.
Mm.
Property demographer. So he's amazing. We've had like Kristen Case from News. We've had like many different. Shannon Whitney, which is probably the CEO of Australia's biggest agency.
Whoa.
John Cunningham, which is he's like the main kind of leader of real estate. So he's kind of gone full circle, started 40 years ago, gone all the way up to the top of the REA, and now he's trying to push it to become a profession. Like he's amazing.
Right.
Owen Morton, which you would probably see Morton everywhere.
Yep.
They do lots of city apartments.
Yep.
Pretty much biggest name.
Yeah.
And they're really interesting because the tack that we're going at is like, let's not talk about property market. Let's talk about what's happening. What's happening with buyers? What's happening with sellers? What are they doing wrong? How are you working buyers? How are you getting to make offers? What's a buyer doing that's a mistake?
Yep.
Can we trust real estate agents? Should we be friends with them? And we keep kind of going deeper and deeper and kind of opening them up because, if you're a true professional, you don't mind talking about these things because it's lifting the standard to a higher level and you're raising the bar, and
For sure.
that's what they're doing. So that's good.
And who's we? Is it you?
Me and Veronica Morgan, which she was on location.
Oh, right. Oh, wow.
So
How did you swing that?
having a Thai lunch.
Right.
Yeah, so we're just sitting down.
Pad Thai? Or?
Yeah. I think I was having Singapore noodles.
Oh, I like it. That must have been a clincher.
Yeah, a bit of a Massimo curry.
Oh, that is.
Yeah.
I'm doing business with this guy.
I just said, look, I think we should do a podcast together. And she's like, I think we should too. And then,
Yeah.
we just got chatting. It took us about a month to kind of come up with a bit of a brand. We sussed out some podcast experts. That didn't really work out. And then we thought, well, let's just give this a crack.
Mm.
And then a friend, which you might know, Simon Russell, Behavioural Finance Australia.
You know, I have definitely heard of these names.
Was that
Yeah,
the guy at the Net Wealth thing recently?
He might have been, but I wasn't there.
Psychologist?
Yeah, he is. He's a psychologist. Worked
Like
at NAB.
curly, long?
No, he's bald as a
different
badger.
one. Right. There you go.
Sorry, Simon. So, no, he's a legend. I've known him for a few years. And if you're looking to understand behavioural finance, I went to one of his training courses. I don't think he does them anymore.
Right.
It was like $400 and a whole room and explaining how behavioural finance works and all that anchoring. And it was really interesting.
Yeah.
And I've just stayed in contact since.
Awesome.
Anyway, so we got him on first episode. And I said, Simon, we want to get you on our podcast. We want to talk about behavioural behind the property market. You know, can you come on? He's like, well, I don't know nothing about property. And he's like, I was like, that's fine.
That's okay.
We just want to open your brain up and talk about it. Anyway, so good on him. He went to an auction with his son, and I don't think he might not even own a property, but he hasn't really been to many auctions, and he just took a kind of blanket view at it and just listened to the auctioneer and said, what is this auctioneer trying to do right now? Like, how is he trying to bend the crowd? And he was actually one of the best auctioneers in Melbourne. So this guy was a smooth kind of customer. And he was just dropping out all these behavioural things. So he's like dropping anchoring, he's dropping in loss aversion, he's dropping in recency, all these kind of biases that, you know, you don't know that are affecting you. And he was just dropping them in the auction. And he was urgency, scarcity. And so he's just like going, bloody hell, this guy just keeps on going. Wow. And it was very interesting because, you know, that kind of, you don't know that this is impacting you and it's forcing you to make a bid and it's getting you overconfident.
Yeah.
And that's when we decided to call it the elephant in the room.
Mm.
And yeah, it's good.
And
Cool.
because obviously when you're on LinkedIn and you don't shy away, that's not words that I would use to describe your post. You certainly wouldn't shy away from a prickly topic or putting, you know, a statement out there. Does
What
that
sells news, good or bad?
but does that cause issues with people when you're speaking to them on the podcast? If they've got a competing view, right? So someone says, no, actually, I think off the plan is bloody excellent. And does that then lead to a robust discussion, or you just wouldn't have them on there?
We would love to have someone like that on there.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, I mean, they probably wouldn't want to come on. I mean, that's just being frank. I mean, I guess Veronica and I got very strong views on property, and if they were willing to come on, we would love to have them on. Yeah, I mean, we've had like lots of real estate agents which, you know, have potentially worked in that space, and we've asked some curly questions. And yeah, they've you know, answered them in their way. Yeah.
And are you getting much, like, what are the results that you're getting out of it? Are you seeing that? Obviously, it's only early-ish days, but are you, you're getting feedback from the people that you've been talking to, your list or whatever, or how's that working?
Yeah, I mean, even today, a new client he's just had his baby, but, you know, once he gets through this, he's going to buy his first home. And he's like, yeah, loving the podcast, loving the psychology angle. Like, that was just one line. Now, he's not really a client yet, but he's there listening to the podcast. He's learning. He's digesting my voice and Veronica's voice. You know what I mean? And so he's actually getting trained up on, like, the things that I need him to understand, right? And so he's kind of coaching himself by doing this. And another amazing new client. He's like, they're buying, you know, $3 million house in Des Moines, and they've listened to every single episode.
Wow.
And he's like an exec at a tech company.
Wow.
So, like, it's, you know, this guy's a first home buyer, but this guy's pretty, you know, he's pretty time poor. He's investing in it. So, yeah, we're getting some really good, like, one of our guests, he was like, well, yeah, this is definitely going to turn into like a TV show of some sort, just because it's kind of like that ABC show that you can't ask that. Have you seen that?
I think I know a guy.
Yeah.
For the TV show.
Oh, you know someone that's on that TV show?
No, I know someone that's likes good TV show ideas.
All right.
We'll take this offline.
Oh,
Like Love Island or something like that. So.
Oh,
like that.
Do you
Like
have?
what you're talking about.
Is one of your clients like a TV exec or something?
Could be.
Personally, ask no questions, tell no lies.
It's Koshi, I think.
Understand.
Koshi.
Yeah, it is Koshi.
Always Koshy.
Yeah.
So, so these people, like those couple of people that you mentioned,
Yeah.
did they find you with the podcast, or were you already connected?
No, so they hadn't. I haven't really found too many people yet come via the podcast. Actually, no, I have. Actually, yes, I have. Yeah, so a guy came straight off the podcast, listened to the podcast, emailed me, said, been listening to the podcast, keen
Yeah.
to chat.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Mad.
And
And
we've only been on live like for 8 weeks.
okay.
So,
Yeah.
or maybe 10. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so are you? And so just in terms of like promotion and stuff of the podcast, are you seeing that build over the?
Yeah, so we got like, it was 4,000 in our first month. And then I think we're
That's
like
mad.
7,000 or something in July.
Whoa.
So I think I'm getting like 300 a day. So it's good.
Wow,
Okay.
man. That
That's
is
sick.
impressive.
Yeah. So I mean, some days are 90, but
Oh, yeah,
we've
yeah,
had lots of days over 300, and
But the fact
it's
that
averaging well over 100.
the
Yeah.
fact that 90 people would listen per day, does that
Mm.
not freak you out? It freaks me out.
Yeah.
It does. It really does. That so people are really busy. But so, for example, I don't watch any TV anymore. So my TV is not plugged into Netflix or like the TV channel. It's just plugged into the internet. So all I watch, if I sit down and watch anything, is something off YouTube. And the best things to watch on YouTube are podcasts.
Mm.
So any
Or Four Corners AMP story the other day.
Oh, yeah. That was pretty heavy. I actually got called by someone who's high up in the industry that was like, hey, you used to own a company that was, Hill Ross, which was owned by AMP. Would you like to speak at this thing? And I said, no, thank you.
Yeah.
No, I do not. No, I don't want to play any role in anything ever with this. And that guy that went on there, he's like the quote unquote whistleblower. Yeah, I think he's received, a little bit of investigation into him. And it's like, what are you doing, mate?
Mm.
So much heat on the Big Four and AMP, and I think for consumers as well, just massive backlash. Like I've got people like bank accounts; they want to close down bank accounts with these
Man, that's
these
crazy.
organisations, which are government guaranteed, and you need a bank account. But I think young people in particular, they're just like more socially responsible, and it just doesn't align like the backlash. But I'm hopeful that. I think these guys have definitely got a role to play. I think I'm hopeful that they can fix, the issues and be there. It's a for-profit company. Clearly, this is what we were chatting about just before. That you can't you can't be surprised that these people are trying to make as much money as they can, especially they've got shareholders, etc. But the ethical frameworks, those two schools of ethical thought that everybody knows about.
Deontology and utilitarianism.
Exactly. That.
Thank you, FPA study 1.
Kaplan.
No, FPA.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Well, the CFP 1.
And so, how are you promoting? How are you promoting the podcast?
I'm not doing any paid advertising or anything like that.
You pushing out to your list and stuff?
Just
though?
LinkedIn, really. And Veronica's
Yeah.
got her kind of database, and I don't think she's got a massive database. I think we've got.
Have to be reasonably big though.
Yeah, I mean, I think so I don't know. I think we've got maybe about 500 listeners. I reckon, like who are subscribed, and because every episode's kind of getting 500, 700.
Yeah, you get that big spike on that first day, right?
Yeah.
It's like, "Rap."
And surprising how fast the spike actually happens.
Yeah.
So,
No,
like,
me too, man. I didn't even understand what was going on. I'm like,
yeah.
what's happening on this day? And then, it's the day we're releasing, therefore it's massive.
And so obviously someone's trying to digest it
Yeah.
the same day they get it, which is quite cool. So like if you, like I'm going to do one tonight or tomorrow morning, and then you might see, bang, 300 people listen to it in the first, 24 hours, which is
Crazy.
cool. So that means
crazy.
it's 300 people who are, keen to listen.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, no, it's feeling good.
Yeah,
It's,
man.
I mean, the next 20 episodes are probably going to be, better than the first 20. So yeah.
I've heard that they improve over time.
Yeah,
I
they
think
do.
we used to scrape the sound off of like a blab recording over like 5 sets of patchy
Man,
internet.
our first sort of 60 were Rookie Central.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's
Yeah.
the LinkedIn going?
It's going good. I'm banned.
Are you?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
You're in
When did
jail.
like when? As of yesterday?
Nah,
Because
for
I
months.
mate, I liked.
So I'm
one of your
on there,
posts.
but I'm
I literally liked one of your posts. I think today or
you can
yesterday.
still like me, you can still comment, but I can't add you.
Oh, why? Are you over the limit? Or?
Oh,
It's
No, I
30,000.
haven't hit 30,000. So I was adding probably, I don't know, 500 to 1,000 a week.
wow!
Like it was snowballing, and I was just like, I'd post something, 300 likes, bang, well, I'll add 50, and then it was kind of getting out of control a little bit, and then
But you were doing that for ages, weren't you?
yeah, I did that for I don't know, a good 12 months,
Yeah.
and so I got to like 22,000, and then I thought, you know what, I'm going to hit the 30 soon, so I'm just going to go.
Is the 30 the max or something?
30 is like max, yeah.
Right.
Which is fair enough. Like you think about 30,000, it's still, fills a football stadium.
It's a lot of
Yeah,
people.
man.
Yep. So yeah, I was like, well, I've got to delete a few thousand here because I'm going to hit 30,000 in the next probably 6 months. So I'll just do a bit of a filter. Oh, I've added a few people in the Philippines and India and things like that, and planners and brokers and
I'm
etc.
glad I didn't get deleted.
No, I kept you, Ben.
because I like occasionally.
Yeah,
so,
that's right. Yeah. If I hit 30 though, maybe.
You've played your role, Clay. Get out of here.
I think once you hit 30, though, that people can still add you.
Follow, yeah.
But people can still connect with you.
You can't actually be connection, they can only follow you.
No, I think you can.
Can you, right?
Yeah, because I did this LinkedIn. We'll chat about this in a sec, but I did this LinkedIn thing the other night with this guy, and he's like a LinkedIn guru, and he's like 31,000 and a bit because I think he hit 30, but other people can still invite you to connect, and you can still.
Ah.
I could be wrong because I've got no
'Cause
idea what I'm talking
Are
about.
you still using that automatic software?
No.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because you can get I used
Just
it. I
be
used it,
careful with those as well.
I used it for one
Yeah.
day. And I was too scared to add because I'm really scared to add anyone on LinkedIn. So I just
Worried about the rejection.
I just no. It's
Doesn't
'cause-
like to ask
it's
for
because I
anything,
know
not even a connection.
I know the feeling I have when someone asks me to join with I'm
But
always
no
like,
one ever puts a note. No one ever puts a note.
It's
It's
free-
like, man,
if someone puts a
note.
note, I know they're going to try and sell me like within 24 hours.
No.
Like if no note, I'm more likely to accept them because I know they're not on their little mission to try and sell me.
I
I'd
just
go
think it's
note.
courtesy. I think
Note?
I was no note, but now I'm a note.
mate, even when I'll connect with people that I like, my clients, obviously, people that I meet at events, and people in the industry sometimes, and always put a note. Like that's just a human thing. Like, be nice, but hey,
Is
awesome
it
to meet
personalised
you.
note or is it?
Yeah, 100%.
You look
When I
really
do
good
it-
in your picture and you look like a great company you work
No,
for.
because it's normally those ones are when I've met them. When it's
of
I've got
course.
the system, and the system has a personalized note, which is the same for every person. But it's still I think it's a note. Like at least, yeah.
Do you guys understand how Pinterest works? Now it's
Yeah, well, doing wedding planning, I think you've got to.
no, but
No, you don't. No, you definitely don't.
But check this. So this is how Pinterest works. You know how you're both building a LinkedIn audience, right? On Pinterest, I'll frame it in this way. I can join I can access your audience and you can access my audience. And
Right.
so what you can do with if you know the right people with a big audience on Pinterest, you can access 100,000 people
Mhm.
and have done zero work.
Right. So
Yeah.
like Justin Bieber.
That
or
sounds
something.
like your complete
No.
jam, actually.
Yeah, that's a good point. No, I learned this at FinCon. Did you learn about this at FinCon?
No, they weren't talking about FinCon. They were just talking about podcasts.
Pinterest,
But who used Pinterest?
okay, so basically everyone that was raking it in FinCon was using Pinterest as a way to promote their stuff to
Yeah, right.
to not any other platform. It was Pinterest.
Wow.
I think it's a theme. I wonder what it'll be
Pinterest.
this year. Interesting.
Mm.
But anyway, so I've got to get to the bottom of this. So you deleted the people, and then what happened?
Well, and so then I was like, well, I'm just going to continue doing what I've been doing. There's no reason to stop, right? Like, so
Yeah.
then bang. If you want to add someone, you've got to put an email address. And so I was like, oh, shit,
Oh,
what's
right.
happened?
Did you go talk to him again?
Yep. So I'm like, they're trying to get me in to do like a coaching with the women at LinkedIn. And so I was like straight onto like my contact there. I was like, hey, when I'm trying to help you, can you help me?
Yeah.
She's like, I'll try. No cigar. And then went to another friend, another client at LinkedIn. Mate, can you help me? No. And
How many people did you delete?
I deleted through 2 to 3. So I wasn't, it must have been 2 to 3. Because I was,
Thousand.
yeah,
Do you ever clear out the unaccepted invites?
I've always accepted. Unless
No,
they-
no, no. When
no,
you
no, no.
send an invite.
You send an invite.
Oh, yes. So I did that. So I deleted probably 1,000,
Yeah.
right? I thought, well, what I'll do is I'll delete the 1,000. I'll get the premium version, which is like $100 a month,
Yeah.
to prove that I'm a
Sales
loyal.
Navigator's mad.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
Sales Navigator.
And then I will write a nice email.
Yeah.
And I did this, email, blah, blah, blah. I'm a great LinkedIn lover. I'm a, brand advocate. You tried to get me in 2 years ago to be part of your advocates group. You can look at all my content. I'm not spamming people.
Yeah,
I'm not
That's a
messaging.
weird thing because, like, obviously your content is like fire on there, like with all the crazy, like traction that I could
Yeah.
only personally dream about. Like, so yeah, that's
Yeah, so that was April. It was about 3 emails back and forth with a lovely lady in San Fran, I assume.
Yeah.
And it was like ban for life.
for life.
For life.
Whoa, can you message people and stuff?
I can still do all that. I just
Yeah.
can't add people without email address.
Oh my god.
So
Shit. Did they tell you why?
Brutal.
just because I set off too many I don't know yous.
Oh, okay. Right.
So when you send a
Yeah,
connection
okay.
request, when
Yeah.
you say, "Oh, do you know this person?" and then you might say, "I don't know you,"
Yeah.
and so I'd set that off, and
Oh.
it was just because I think I was maybe adding 50, I'd say 50, 100 a day, right? And then, and then by the end, it was probably getting more than maybe 200 a day.
I had about 200 today.
Yeah. Okay. Really? Well, there you go. So, yeah.
That's what my software lets me do, up to 200.
Right. Okay. There you go. It's software. What are you on?
The LinkedIn software.
Yeah.
Like LinkedIn.com.
Right.
That software.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, that's brutal. Surely,
Backslash dodgy.
surely there's another way. There's got to be
Forward
another
slash.
way.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. So it's I mean, it's fine, to be honest. I mean, I guess it's
20,000
still
is
getting-
a massive amount of people.
yeah. I'm still getting 20 to 30 a day adding me.
Oh,
So you go,
fantastic.
well,
Really, 20 to 30 people add you per day.
yeah.
That's amazing.
So that's
I like how you emphasize you there. Add you.
yeah.
You definitely did that.
Yeah.
But how's because are you still running the same content strategy where you were doing the 2 posts a day and stuff?
Yeah.
You're still doing that?
Yeah. Still doing that today, not so much, but yeah, generally still 2 a day.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, if I come up with a third, I'll just throw a third on there. I'm kind of just flexing it
Nice.
a bit, just seeing what. Yeah, I mean, if I want to get it out, I've probably been a little bit slack recently. Like, as I've probably been busier than probably normal.
Stick to what works, Batesy.
Yeah,
That's what made you
and-
busy, mate.
So a bit. Yeah, I mean, spelling's probably dropped a bit, and my grammar's probably dropped a bit, which is good feedback I've had.
It just humanizes you, man.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's true.
Mm.
So it's cool. Like a client who's like a PR expert kind of said, "Look, Chris, loving what you're doing. Just I can see you're getting a bit busy and you're dropping the ball a little bit." And
Right.
so she's like, "Just pick up your spelling a bit. Just go because you can notice it a little bit now." And so that was good advice.
Yeah, it's good advice. I sent an email to a VC yesterday because they were like, "Hey, let's catch up," and I'm like, "Yeah, definitely." And then I was like, "Well, you're in town on these days. Let's catch up." And I read it again this morning, and it's YOUR, no apostrophe RE.
That's bad.
That's going to cost me $1 million right there.
So I did this webinar the other night with this LinkedIn expert, Adam Houlihan. Funny because we just did that podcast with Michael Houlihan not too long ago. But he's the 30 30K and a bit one, and he was talking about some interesting stuff. Like, because I've been doing, I mentioned before, I've got this crazy run of clients at the moment, which is untypical for me, but I found that I think like maybe half of my recent clients have actually come from LinkedIn. Like that's where the connection started. So I'm like, shit, this is definitely worth investing in. Like, and this is like significant, like client fees and stuff, you know, like, so, anyway, this guy's doing this thing and he's supposed to be the guru. So I went on the thing, but they were talking, it was quite interesting that they were talking about, like LinkedIn now, they don't want you to post any links out to,
Yeah, it's always been the case. Yeah.
to different things. So they do.
Yeah.
So if you link off
Makes
LinkedIn,
sense though, yeah.
oh, of course it makes sense. Yeah. But,
Well, if you're watching ABC, they don't want to say, go watch Channel 7, do they?
yeah,
I
but
guess that makes
it's weird
sense.
because you're already on the platform. But anyway, so he was showing examples about how you know, you're not supposed to put it in your post, and then, but you can put it in the comments. So you could put like make a post, and then at the bottom of the post put link in first comment, and then you put the thing in. That's okay, and it basically gets four to 5 times the reach of.
That's interesting. Yeah, I was wondering why the reach was so small when I put the podcast up. And it's
Probably
got
why.
like 5 links in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really something that people are going to really like or comment anyway.
Yeah, totally.
It's not like, so like I'll do a, elephant in the room podcast. This is our great episode. I put a little
you don't link
snazzy.
it?
I link it, but
Okay.
I mean, it's not going to get anywhere near much as traction as.
Oh, totally. Because they're forced to do something rather
Yeah.
than get the dopamine hit and be like, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and it's also a little bit of self promotion, right? And
Sure.
so it's not gonna self promotion is not really why people are on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
They're there to learn. And
Is it self-promotion though? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well, it's definitely promotion.
It's a-
And
yeah,
it's
watch
promotion
my
of something
stuff
that you
or
did.
listen
so,
to me.
So I
Yeah.
suppose it's self promotion.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
There's
that's
nothing wrong with self-promotion,
I think that's
Clayton.
the definition of self promotion. Yeah, but it was So this guy, Adam Houlihan, he was talking about he was saying that he has found that the ideal amount of content to post in a month was like 12 to 14 posts a month. That's what he said. That's what he does. And the other thing that he said that I found quite interesting was that he said that he's found that the most effective posts are posts with words with no pictures. But I couldn't quite understand what he was saying. That he was saying that the ones with pictures, they get more impressions, but he said that the ones with no pictures get more engagement for some reason.
Mm.
I thought that was quite interesting.
Yeah, it is.
That was he's got this Super Guru LinkedIn course, which I seemed okay. But
I think that's the clickbait with it all. It's like, here's a few lines. If you want to listen more, press read more, and then you press read more, and then you're kind of in. And then it's like, it's generally a little bit more, I don't know, more, a picture's kind of more of a statement, I feel like, and I think the text is more of a commentary sort of thing. Yeah, I haven't done it.
I've not.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah,
But the views are definitely going down, and the way they do their algorithms 100% has changed. So I can get the same amount of likes, same amount of comments, but the reach is not as much as it was. So
Yeah, man, this is the issue with building on a third-party platform. However,
Yeah.
the podcast is your own platform, and no one can take that from you.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, in a way, but
Besides ASIC.
then you get promoted through.
Besides ASIC. Yeah, I guess it's a little bit different because we don't give advice to any clients, but I guess technically you're talking about advice to people. Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. Imagine that. Actually, we were talking with a podcast in a prior podcast, and they were subpoenaed.
all right.
Yeah, and it sounds so scary, but it was not every single industry fund was subpoenaed for the Royal Commission.
Right.
Yeah, so but still,
Mm.
you've been served,
Yeah,
bitch.
that's
It's
right.
like, whoa. Scary, man. Scary.
What are you working on in your business at the moment, Batesy?
So the podcast, obviously, I'm saying my messaging is getting very, very, like, I'm getting everyone on this call, but it's like literally did 3 this afternoon, and it's like 15, 20 minutes, this is what you need to do from a,
I
what
liked
you
that
need to
post.
get ready. And, it's just trying to systemize things as much. I've got to definitely hire someone, and, you know, just trying to figure out what's the right move. Yeah.
What are you thinking there?
Do you know, like, I think I'm trying to get it to a point where the clients I'm not sure if it's just going nuts because it's going nuts at the moment, or it's like a sustainable kind of ridiculous like volume. So I'm trying to see if it's consistently like this for maybe another 6 months, and then
Why don't you start the next Aussie home loans? You could call it Batesy's Home Loans.
No.
What?
It's because you're just selling a commoditized product.
Very good point. Okay.
So who's in your team at the moment? Is it just you?
Just me, but I use
Yeah.
like lots of like all the mortgage applications, and I mean just before this I checked my team's kind of made sure the valuations are ordered on 3 files and etc. So I've got people in the back office doing all that. So
Yeah.
so that's fine. Yeah, I mean the major time is really I don't know whether I could save myself, and that's what I'm trying to question myself. Am I saving myself time by hiring someone or not? And can I build better systems and processes? And I'm trying to get really quick at that before I kind of, you know, get little Johnny or Jill next to me.
Yeah. Well, look, I think staffing for small business is one of the biggest pain points. I know it's definitely is for me.
Yeah.
Like it's just so hard to know how do you do it. What's the best way? Find the right people, get them motivated. Can you not eat more cookies? Like, because I can just hear every mouthful that you're having.
Yeah, they're not podcast friendly, are they? Really?
No, that is not a podcast friendly biscuit.
Just eat some
All
rice.
right, thanks. Our listenership just went down by like 100 per day. But I think it's it's like I'm in this business coaching group where it's like they do community like events for all the people in the group, and definitely when people get to talking, like one of the biggest challenges is that staffing and how do you grow the team. I'm definitely struggling with it as well.
There's no right way or wrong way. Like the easy option is hire, right? You know, you just hire and see how it goes. But you know, if you're not really sure where you want it to end up, or the person you're hiring, where you want them to end up, like I kind of feel like you're kind of just putting a problem. And it's so I'm trying to, I guess, figure out this is how I want to, you know, my 10-year kind of long term where I'm trying to get at the perfect team and trying to get the right person to fit into that and at least take us in the right direction there. So
You're going to write a book?
maybe, yeah.
It's a lot of work. Ben's nearly finished his.
Mine's finished. I just got my internal.
It's called
design back.
Go Unstuck Yourself.
All right.
No, or Get Unstuck.
Yeah, I'm stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It
if
is
you were
a
to replace the
horrendous-
word unstuck with the F-bomb.
Well, that's Melissa's Brown's book. Have you seen that? F-U-C-K, Your Finances.
You can say that.
Which I've read that,
You can
and
say that.
yeah, it's good. I am
Yeah.
reading
I like
reading it.
I think it's a great title. I saw it come out. And I was like, whoa. I was like, that's next level.
Yeah, it's not going to suit your parents, though, is it? But that's not who she's
That's
targeting.
probably the point, I suppose.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. I mean, I mean, there's writing a book, but I think a book, it can be a book from a marketing point of view, which you want, which is great, and it sounds good, but people probably won't read it. Or it can be a proper book where you invest a lot of time.
So are you saying that people aren't going to read my book?
I didn't say it depends. If it's a marketing book and you kind of
It's a distinct possibility.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of work,
Yeah.
and I'm not entirely sure if it's worth it. But it was fun, and I'm glad I did it.
But you get, when you sign up to Sprout Super, you get that free Amazon bestseller. You wouldn't be able to do that, right?
Not everyone does, mate. Not everyone does. Come on now.
I think I mean, if you invest in the process, if you kind of get out of the outcomes you want from it, I think that's the most powerful thing about producing content, right? Because it's
Yeah.
not so much
Absolutely.
it's not so much what you get out of it. It's your brain's learning and making calls on things and is developing and pushing itself and
For
challenging
sure.
itself. And then
Yeah.
once you actually get it out there, that's the reward. And so it's like reading a book, producing content's the same.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, the person that produces the content gets the biggest reward.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I noticed that when I was doing my book that like I had all these ideas, but I didn't have it.
Crystallized.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So I hadn't thought through how the pieces fit together. And even from the time that I started the book to the end, I changed our like whole the product method, if you follow that KPI sort of mentality, which is the areas and how they all connect together and what are the key things. And what it also did was that it led me into a lot of behavioral psychology research, which that's the whole first third of my book is
Awesome,
all
man.
around that psychology. And I'd been doing this banking stuff, which, you
Yeah.
know, we basically sort of I stole off you and then tweaked
Until it was heaps better.
arguably. And
Definitely.
and I didn't know why that worked. I just knew that it worked, and that was enough. I was like, well, you know, let's not be greedy here. If it works, it works. That's great. Then I started doing the research, and then I was like, whoa. I was like, all, you know, the things that you're talking about before, willpower depletion, you know, the power of barriers,
Man.
all of those things, you know.
Willpower depletion. Yeah. That's a really good way to put it.
That's the
And then-
opposite goal gradient theory, which is, you know, like you get tired, but then you actually, if you're getting closer to your goal, you can see it, you actually pick up pace.
Yeah, but it's day to day. This is not you're buying the $3 million dream home. This is like you've just worked your ass off all day and you're going, do I go home and eat the quinoa, or do I just go to that, like I'm going to go treat myself because I got a mad bonus, and then I'm going to go to that fancy place, and, you know.
I mean, you just named 3, right? So you got mental accounting, I got a mad bonus, so I should waste it.
Yeah,
So
I've
it's
got
not
more
income.
money.
So you look at that differently to, I mean, your self-control, like there. So, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I agree. It's absolutely fascinating behavioral finance. Dan O'Reilly's new book, which is called Small Change, unbelievable. Like,
Yeah,
that's,
I have not read it.
yeah. I think if you just keep investing in that, as an advisor, I think the more you can understand that, the more you can understand your clients and and actually educate them and articulate them.
Mate, absolutely.
Yeah.
So decision fatigue was a huge part of my book. And then I ended up the solution I ended up coming up with was I called it cognitive minimalism. Didn't catch on.
Cognitive is a hard word to say.
Yeah, just cognitive minimalism. Never caught on.
You know?
Strangely.
I thought it was pretty cool. In fact, I thought it was so cool that
I
I
could
got
tell
the
you thought it was good.
I got the URL. So
Oh,
I
right.
got cognitive minimalism and cognitive minimalist.
Ooh,
I got both of them.
right, yeah.
No one's offered to buy it yet.
That's why they call it crazy domains.
That's probably a good idea.
Well played, sir. Well played.
No, I mean, if you want to look at minimalism, though, like financial minimalism resonates. Maybe not cognitive minimalism, but financial minimalism. People love that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because people
yeah,
get
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, you look
Sugar Mama TV.
at that's Kenna. So I was going to say, Kenna Campbell. Like,
Have you met her?
no,
We asked her to come on the podcast, and she booked in, and she just couldn't make it. But we had someone fill in for her, so thankfully. But we would love to have her. So yeah, She's a rock
blown
star,
away
man.
by her success. Yeah,
she's a rock star.
yeah. No, she nails it. Like, I mean, she's absolutely smashing YouTube.
Yeah,
Everything
she's got like
Yeah.
100,000 followers or something. Right?
Yeah. Oh, mate, more than that. I think it's even could
Really?
even be 7 figures.
Whoa.
Right.
Yeah,
Damn.
it's pretty crazy because it's snowballing effect, right? So
Yeah.
I've got
You know what it's like,
17
Ben.
subscribers now.
First-
17, man. 17. Can you believe that?
shit, how many people are in your
I
family?
can't, and I feel sorry for him.
I know, yeah, they don't follow me. I'm the black
Even
sheep.
they don't subscribe.
I'm the black sheep.
Do you spend any time on YouTube?
I watched it at home. I'm definitely trying to figure out this video thing. So I want to do a different take on it. I've tried a few different things. I haven't. So I'm
Yeah,
just going-
YouTube has its. It has a thing where
Yeah, it's
people
a-
are like, I'm a YouTuber,
Yeah,
and I present like a YouTuber.
yeah, Craig's nailing it. Craig Bigelow, he's doing really well. Like, he's on his insurance.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Awesome, man. He's a
Uh,
champ. Such a champ.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen his stuff.
Yeah, he's because there's a process to it. You know, you're there to digest and learn, but I don't know if that's the right 100% way for me.
Yep.
But so I think there's got to be value in video. If you're not in figuring it out somehow, someone else will.
Yeah,
And-
we've got to upgrade from the phone.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. We
I
Nice
just started
cracked screen as
I
well.
just started punching out a few videos in my email sequence, my onboarding. So when someone like
you're showing your face. I wouldn't.
well, I've got to get them used to it. It reduces the shock factor at the back end when it's like,
Holy
hey, come
shit.
see me, and hey, give me
a
$10,000. It's like just one shock at a time.
Is the beard still working or?
Well, it seems I trimmed it up a bit. No, not that short, but I trimmed it up and then I realized I'd gone too far. But
Was the spike in business because of the grey, or
mate, that's a trend. That's just a
Mate, you
a
should shave it
definite
off. Bring that
trend. Man,
beautiful Benny face
Yang
back to
Yang
it.
would kill me. I got in trouble last time because I trimmed it too short.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mate, when are you getting married?
Feb 15?
Oh,
Exciting.
look at that!
Exciting.
Do you have to pay extra for the wedding?
No, doing it on Friday, but
It's
it's
the day after Valentine's Day, right?
But we got the venue for the whole weekend, so it's
Oh, wow. Where are you getting married?
You're such a
down South Coast.
sweetheart.
Can't say the venue. It's secret.
Okay, fair enough.
Secret
Lovely,
venue.
lovely.
Got to save it for the Instagram. Make sure you give them the influencer.
Yeah, I'd say, yeah. I've already got sponsors on it. AIA.
Sponsored by the Elephant in the Room podcast. Download now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing a LinkedIn post on the day.
Selfie.
Oh, mate, that's
Waiting at the
fire.
altar.
No, that'll get 1,000 likes for sure.
Cognitive minimalism.
Yeah.
So, what's your because you're saying you're systemizing everything. What are you working on?
I mean, I'm not trying to do so much on the tech side. I'm just, I guess, trying to figure out how do I get someone through the process much quicker.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm just the first calls, to be honest, it's all about that, so like literally this morning, I mean, just on this before I came in here, he sent me a message this morning, maybe, I think it was maybe yesterday. And I said, let's catch up at 3 o'clock. And it's like, yep. Okay, cool. So at 3 o'clock, call, ask him 15 questions. No, these aren't ordered questions. And then kind of work it through and go, well, actually, what you want to do, you can't do. Because for him, it was borrowing capacity. So if you want to do that, you got to get your wife working. Does she want to work? Maybe not. Well, if she works, she could do this. And then we've got to, go away, digest that, and then we can kind of pick up the conversation. So, I gave him what he needs to know in 15 minutes. And, rather than, hey, mate, come on in, have a meeting, spend an hour and a half. Whether that works long term, and I do think it's pretty powerful.
I think that definitely works, man, for sure. Like you don't want to get people like I won't take a meeting with anybody now, even if they're a referral, no one without having that phone call. And I think you got to make sure that it's going to be right. Because otherwise you're just wasting their time as well.
Yeah, I mean, I got another email the weekend. It's like, hey Chris, read your stuff. I'm looking for a financial advisor that reviews my portfolio every year and gives me an update for a fee of $330 an hour. Do you offer this service? And I just went, no, I don't offer this service. If you're not taking this seriously and you're trying to go straight to price, so I'm just like, well, I'm not going to bother. Or another one is, and I wouldn't do that anyway, but there's another one was like, hey Chris, we're really busy. We both work full time. Do you do weekends?
Yeah.
Like,
I love that question.
Well, no, I don't work weekends. If you want to see me, here's my office hours. Come see me. Because you kind of, and you've got to kind of throw it back. I mean, in fairness, she wrote back and she goes, okay, cool, I respect that. And she's actually a really good client.
I say to people, I do work weekends, but not
I just don't want to see you.
Yeah, I'd want to do the work that I want to do, not
You
give myself
should write this
more
back.
work to do.
You should write, I totally work all weekends, all the time, but no, definitely just can't find a time to see you. I'm sorry.
I got a message from this guy the other day that I connected with on LinkedIn, and he said the message was literally, "Hey, can you get me 20% guaranteed on cash?"
Just say yes.
And I wrote him back. I was like, "Hey, thanks for the note. If I could, I would be a magician to rival David Copperfield and currently on tour around the world." He sends me this thing back and goes, "I'm getting currently 12% plus cash." I was like, "Good on you." What the hell? What do they do? What are these?
Bitcoin.
That's not. Is that
Mate,
cash?
I made
internet
500% in 6 months on Bitcoin
Internet
and sold
cash.
out at the top.
Did you?
Bazinga.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that how your starting sprout?
Exactly.
No. I mean, it's a good journey. So you sold out.
Mm.
You were Mr. Crypto for a while.
Mate, I'm still a massive believer in
Right.
it. It's just I'm not really interested in the volatility of it. Like, I don't like the volatility, But I mean, internet money is definitely a thing now, and it's not going anywhere. There's a bunch of things to figure out. But the concept is, I wish it was. It's clearly not a currency, so it's not like, you know, a currency is issued by a country, and so it's not a currency, and it's not a commodity because you can't really do anything with it, and it's not an asset because it doesn't provide any income or value. So it's a weird thing, right? I'm not suggesting that we can figure it out, but it is definitely
It's the height of wealth.
It's hanging around. It's not going anywhere. I'd like to see it either pegged to $1. I don't think it's going to replace, obviously, because until governments start issuing, it's not going to replace.
Well, they can't, can they? Isn't that the whole thing?
Of course, they could if they wanted to.
Their own one.
Yeah.
It's a different one.
Yeah, but the power of it is limited numbers of tokens, right?
Not
And then
really.
that's not going to get a government excited if they can't print money or can't print tokens.
No, you can't. You can open end it. Like I mean, it's only limited to your ideas, so you can develop it in any way that you see. So it's definitely not going anywhere. I mean, I invested in it purely based on the greater fool theory that, like, I can't believe how much this traction this is getting. I'm just going to buy a bunch and then sell it back to them. I'm still a massive fan of it, but it is like I would like to see in within the next 10 years 1 to 2% of everyone's portfolio invested in it. I think it's crazy to think that it's going away, and if it doesn't go away, then it's going to stick around. But it's just tulip early days at the moment, and as time goes on, it'll become more and more regulated, more and more stable. You know, especially when the ETF comes out. That's what I'm really waiting for. In fact, because I tried to buy my first Bitcoin in 2013, and I found a guy on the internet, right? And so me and my mate sent him money, and then he just went missing.
Oh,
Right, but it was really cheap. It was real, you know, it's like a couple $100, and me and my mate just went halves in it, and we were like, okay, well, we didn't even know you could buy less than a full Bitcoin, right? We just thought there's a Bitcoin, so you just buy a Bitcoin, and he had all this good reputation and everything, and all these reviews, and we're like, okay, because there wasn't even an exchange. You'd literally go to a bank and send someone money, and then they send you a Bitcoin, and
why did you want Bitcoin?
It's just internet money. It just made sense to me from the moment I heard it. But I didn't think it was going to blow up in value so much. I was just like, wow, like I definitely just want to buy one of these internet monies. And then, and yeah, once it gets to an ETF, get out of town, right? Because then, especially if it's not a synthetic ETF, if it's an actual ETF, they have to buy these Bitcoins, and then you're going to get monstrous amounts of money into it. And look, there's many arguments as to why, like, don't go and invest in it. I'm like, I enjoy the concept of it, but I think I always say it's got a 50% chance of going to 100,000, 50% chance of going to zero.
Yeah.
Like, it's.
I mean, it was interesting
no
when
one knows.
hairdressers are starting to spruik it on Facebook.
100%.
You know, and that's where we were at.
Hairdressers.
Like, yeah, like
man.
it was just.
It's so weird that
everyone
there was
was-
this crazy period, and like I was having
Yeah.
like a quarter of my client base was talking to me about Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Like they're just asking me questions, and then
Yeah.
it tanked. No questions.
No questions.
Nothing.
But it didn't tank. Like,
Oh, it just went down.
it's
down,
still
down, down,
up like 1,000% from 12 months ago.
Mm.
Like when it
Yeah,
tanked,
yeah,
it tanked
yeah.
from its height, which is what I repetitively like to say sold it at.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then it's going to keep pumping and dumping it.
until it gets some form of regulation and security around it. But it's not going anywhere. There's no way it's going anywhere.
All
So
right, mark that word. Episode 150 of XY Advisor. That's confidence.
it's not. I'm not suggesting it's going to blow up in value or even be worth more than 1 cent. But it's
Yeah.
not going anywhere.
Right.
It's definitely here to stay.
That's highs down.
It's the geeks and the internet people. They like it.
Man, they
You know?
love it so much.
Yeah.
It's libertarians, and
Yeah, that's
libertarians
right.
are scary.
Yeah.
Libertarians are a bit crazy. Like they're
Do something different.
extremists,
Excuse the pun.
and yeah, and and techies love it, but techies don't quite understand the concept of financial matters. So
yeah, I mean that's right. Yeah, exactly. You think it's a blue sky world that it makes sense, right? And it's internet money, and it should just stop inflation, and we can all the world can get involved.
Yeah.
But, there's governments involved who do not want this. And who is in control of the world?
Correct.
Your banks and your governments.
Because at the end of the day, everyone's like, well, what's money anyway? It's worthless. And I'm like, no. A government with people in the police force can hold a gun to someone's head and say, you have to accept this as your money. Like we are forced to accept the Australian currency as money. There's no what Bitcoin's going to start with no owner is going to start hiring a bunch of agents walking around with guns going, you have to accept Bitcoin. Like there's no enforcement of it. So that's a major issue that most people aren't understanding it.
But there's no longer any enforcement of any other currency effectively because you can live in any country and use any other currency, right?
I don't understand that sentence.
You don't have to use. Well, I don't have to use Australian currency if I don't want to.
In Australia? Of course you do.
Well, yeah, in Australia.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You don't have to use the currency of the country. No, you do.
Yeah.
You could order.
You can't order like Thai food and pay in like bahts.
No, you can't. You can't. You can pay in internet money though.
Absolutely, you can.
That's my Thai. That's
mate. All right. Well, should we go grab a beer?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Well, Batesy, always a pleasure to have you on here, mate. Congratulations. You already got more listeners than we do, and we've been doing this for like years. So you've either got a better voice or a better face for radio. I'm not quite sure which one it is, but congratulations anyway.
You've got how many listeners you got?
Well, we get about 200 a day. So we get 6,000 a month. Yeah.
So if you guys are getting a bit bored, you can always jump on The Elephant in the Room.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, actually, how can people find out more about what you do?
So jump on iTunes if that's where you're listening, or theelephantintheroom.com.au and start listening. Yeah.
And if you haven't yet paired with Batesy, if you're the one person in Australia that hasn't paired with Batesy,
he's been banned from LinkedIn, so connect with him.
Connect,
because he can
connect, and then you get this really cool couple of times a day, some snippet, great little content.
Actually, if there's any financial planners who want to talk about why financial planners completely ignore property and don't educate themselves on property and don't spend time trying to truly understand property and actually believe that they do and want to jump on the podcast, we'd really like to discuss that topic in more detail because, it is the biggest flaw, I think, in the financial planning industry. The biggest asset in Australia for most of people's wealth comes from property. The decisions you make around property are the most important decisions because they're the biggest decisions you make. But as financial advisors, we don't try to truly help people there. Everything from helping people buy their first home, like questioning, are they doing the right thing? Is this really the right property for them? Are they going to outgrow it? Should they renovate it? Should they do a construction? Should they rent? Should they buy an investment property? What type of investment property should they buy? Should they develop? Should they do a townhouse? The questions keep going. And if you don't know the answers to these, the clients are going to go somewhere else and look for them. So, I guess if you're a financial planner and you do consider yourself to be a kind of property knowledge there, and I'd love to come on the podcast because I think we want to keep talking about this topic because it's, people need to get advice around property, but there's no one really to give it to them. Fortunately, they go to,
Aussie Home Loans?
Yeah, Aussie Home Loans, but they're just
Home Loans.
They're just going to, sell them a mortgage. They're not going to give them good advice generally. They just want the transaction done, so they go for the least line of resistance. You go to a buyer's agent is going to tell you to buy. You go to a property seller, they're going to tell you to buy. You go to a real estate agent. Property seller. Yeah. Anyway, so...
how should these people reach out to you, Mr. Bates?
Just jump on. You know who I am.
LinkedIn.
Find the man.
Mate, always a pleasure to have you on here, mate. You're always welcome back.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, Batesy.